The mind is not limited to this body. The mind is not bound by this body.
So you have often promoted the use of mercury and the consumption of mercury, and mercury is a poisonous element, and you've been accused of promoting something that's very dangerous. What are your thoughts on this?
So sattvic food are the food that you can eat 7 days of the week. And hence sattvic. So when your mind projects your consciousness, you see that as the universe.
Welcome to Chatur Chintan, a totally not staged podcast where facts are optional but vibes are mandatory, and we have 100% genuine experts. Today, coming to us from the foothills of the Oz Nilgiri Mountains, or the Blue Mountains, is our very own in-house viral Vachan Baba.
Thank you, Vaidehi.
Thank you, Babaji, for gracing us with your divine presence.
Of course.
We'll begin with our first question to Babaji for the day, which is something that is asked very often, but a lot of people tend to evade the answer. So I'm hoping for an answer from you today. What is a mind?
Before we can answer what is the mind, we have to ask ourselves, what is thinking? Are you thinking when you're asking a question? Am I thinking when I'm answering? Once we have answered that question, that is when we can actually go into the details of what a mind is. But today I will entertain this question. If you ask a Western philosopher, they will say the mind is somewhere inside our body, or maybe between our eyes. But if you ask Oriental philosophers, we are Oriental, aren't we? Because we orient with the right things. If you ask us, our philosophy tells us that the mind is inside each and every atom that is inside us and also outside us. The mind is not limited to this body. The mind is not bound by this body. The mind is both inside the body and also outside. It may sound confusing, but once you transcend the mind, you will understand these concepts very easily, very easily. Our mind is almost like the universe.
All right. Something for more exploration then. But since you've mentioned mind and the universe and compared them a lot, can you also tell us what the universe is?
The universe, as the word suggests, is a single word to explain away everything that exists or that will ever exist. The universe is a construct of human mind. It is a projection of your mind through your third eye. So when your mind projects your consciousness, you see that as the universe. We have to be very clear the difference between the cosmos and the universe. They are not the same thing. People confuse it a lot. The Mobius strip, it is a very recent discovery by the modern mathematicians. But our ancient saints have known about this from a very long time. They called this Maya. So some people call it Maya, some people call it universe, some people call it mind. They are the same thing. I hope I'm not confusing you. It also tells us how everything is interconnected. Just like the Mobius strip, our lives are going in a loop. As we walk through this Maya, like the ant on the Mobius strip, we encounter karma. When we do an action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Is it not? Newton found this only in the last 200, 300 years. Karma comes back to you. It was always there. It was just us going in a loop and coming back to the karma. The karma was always there. The moment you take an action, karma was created then and there. But we moved away. And when we come back, we take it away.
Since you've now touched upon Maya,
I have not touched Maya. That did not happen.
you just spoke about it. So,
Yes.
what is then really real?
Reality is a projection of your consciousness through your third eye. We discussed this briefly. Some people call this projection Maya, some people call it Chaya. Not the Chaya that you drink. Do you know what is Chaya?
A shadow?
Yes, Chaya is shadow. The reality is a shadow of our conscious. The couch that you're sitting on, do you think it is real?
Yes, absolutely.
No, it is not. See, this is the thing that people don't understand. They are very confident about the nature of reality. The nature of reality is such that it makes you believe even the chaya is real. Your mind is projecting the consciousness into this universe, and that is why the reality manifests itself. It is a complex topic, I can understand, if you need time to digest it.
Yes, probably for a later time. Perhaps we can now move on to more tangible questions that are closer to home. So, you've often talked about how food is a very spiritual choice. So, what diet or food choices would you recommend for a newbie yogi?
The human body is an intricate symphony of universal energies. It's a divine temple of vibrational frequencies and metabolic oscillations. Ancient wisdom tells us there are three types of food: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. You all would have heard about this. Sattvic food is food that is filled with positive energy. So, food like fruits from trees, which are closer to the sun. All energy on earth comes from the sun, is it not? It is positive energy coming from the sun. And also because the fruits are closer to the heaven, it has a lot of positive energy. So, sattvic food are the food that you can eat 7 days of the week, and hence sattvic. Rajasic food, on the other hand, is food which creates anger. Now, I'm not saying it's not Rajasic food. If you want to get it, Rajasic food for things that you must. If you want soldier, you should eat Rajasic food that can create anger. Black pepper, chili, tomatoes, egg. These are food that can create anger. And these food should be consumed by warriors, people who are going for a war. Most other people, and a newbie, or as you call noobs, in the yogic field, should only consume sattvic food. It is not acceptable to have rajasic or tamasic. You want the yogi to be calm. I'm calm all the time, am I not? That is because I don't eat rajasic food. I only eat sattvic food.
Who are you? speaking to Babaji. There's nobody there.
Vaidehi, humans are limited by their senses. When you achieve a certain level of enlightenment, you're not bound by the five senses you have. I also have common sense and not so common sense. So I can see things that you can't see with your eyes.
Um,
I should finish my
yes.
thought, should I not?
Yes.
Yes. Tamasic food is the last of the three. Tamasic food are food that no one should eat, no one at all. It is not good for you. This food has a lot of negative energy, lot of negative energy. When you kill an animal,
That's a interesting take on food. And while we are on the topic of food, I'd like to ask you another question. So, you have often promoted the use of mercury and the consumption of mercury, and mercury is a poisonous element. And you've been accused of promoting something that's very dangerous. So, what are your thoughts on this?
mercury is not poisonous. No. But if you eat it, it will kill you. So please don't go and eat mercury and say that viral Vachan Baba said this. No, no. Yes. Mercury is definitely not poisonous. It is a natural element occurring in this earth, is it not? How can it be poisonous? Will Mother Earth give you something that is not good for you?
There are many naturally occurring poisonous material. For example, what about datura? That's a poisonous plant. Would you not say that's bad for you?
You are comparing two different things. You are comparing apples and oranges. You should not. They are completely different things. We can go to the next question.
You also mentioned eating mercury. How can one eat a liquid?
I can understand the confusion.
But
I can convert liquid mercury into solid mercury. At room temperature, we have done a lot of research in our ashram and we are able to convert liquid mercury into solid mercury. We are able to easily change the molecular structure of mercury.
we would probably have to leave that question at that. But full disclosure to our viewers that mercury is definitely a poisonous element and is not meant for human or animal consumption. Now, moving on to a different topic, since you mentioned special abilities and solidifying mercury, do you believe in superhumans? And if yes, then how does one become a superhuman?
Again, there is a lot of confusion I can see. A yogi does not want to become a superhuman. No, no, no. That is not the goal of yoga. The goal of yoga is to realize that it is super to be human.
There are a couple of other points that I would like to touch upon. One is where people feel that bad things are happening to them because there is a demonic or bad influence in their life. What is a demon and do such things really exist?
Are you watching a lot of horror movies?
I generally don't.
I think it is a Western concept, these demons. Our culture does not have demons. We have Rakshasas. They're not the same thing. No, no, no. But effect, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. So the negative energy that people leave behind is left wandering on this planet. Yes. They are not ghosts, no. They are just negative energy. So when someone, a simple soul walking through this negative energy, catches it and they act weird, they start, in Tamil we call it pei pidikkirathu. There is no pay. It is just the negative energy. Now these negative frequencies, negative vibrations, negative energy, they cannot enter a temple because the temple architecture, the way it is structured, the quantum energy in temple does not allow these negative energies to enter. It is by design. They were very well-read scientists in the past who used specific materials and specific architecture to have these scientific buildings which do not allow negative energies inside. That is why when you enter a temple, you feel very positive. Is it not?
All right. My final question to you, and because you've spoken about this in the past, is you've said water has memory. And how is that possible? And why only water? Why not other natural elements like fire, for example?
Non-living things can have memory. Don't you agree?
Electronic devices can have memory, yes.
Yes. So non-living things can have memory.
They are designed for that purpose.
But non-living things can have memory. So if they can have memory, how does this memory get transferred from one device to another? Is it not through the air? Can we not upload our memory into the cloud? What is the cloud made of? Does that not mean non-living things can have memory? They can store memory. So water can also be used to store memory. If you give me a glass of water, I can change the molecular structure of the water. I can change the arrangement in a specific way such that without changing it chemically it will be the same. Did you study science in your school?
Yes, I did.
Yes. So you must be aware that we can rearrange the molecules of water without changing it chemically. And I can do that by looking at it in a certain way. And it will become very sweet for you if you drink it after. I can look at it in a different way. And it will make you fall sick. All by just looking at it. So water can have memory. Fire, however, is different. Fire is not the same thing. Fire is very different.
As you saw this totally not staged podcast, we can't really believe everything we hear. When listening to such self-styled experts, always be aware of a couple of things. When looking for answers on a topic, always listen to the expert of that topic. For example, just because someone is a nuclear physicist doesn't automatically mean they know anything about food science or nutrition. So always look for the expert on that topic for information of that topic. This is called an appeal to authority fallacy. A situation where just because somebody is an authoritative on one subject, you assume they know everything. The other thing to be aware of is to observe whether you still remember the question when the answer is being told to you. As you would have noticed in Viral Vachan's Baba's answers, his answers were long and almost a word salad. And you might have even forgotten what the question was halfway through it. I know I certainly did. All questions can be answered in very overly simplified ways that tend to make sense. Be aware of certain keywords that people use, for example, quantum entanglement, dimensions, the mind, frequencies, positive and negative vibrations. Every time you hear an answer, validate it with multiple sources. We now have so many different AI that can simplify the task for us, like ChatGPT and so on. So be cautious, be aware, as there's a lot of chaos around us, and we will be back with another video to help make sense of that chaos. Thank you for watching this Not So Staged podcast from Chaotic Chintan, and please like, share, and subscribe.